I've been to a lot of these film music festivals, not all of them, but I think this one it's really the biggest, and I think has the most prestige because of the enthusiasm of the fans.
I love Poland. I love Krakow audience, and it's so. I was talking to my producer yesterday about that. It's very beautiful, the family feeling I have every year when I come.
I don't know whose idea it was to have the Film Music Festival here, but I sure am glad they had this idea.
And there's Sean, who's going to be on that panel with you.
All the way from Los Angeles, California.
Welcome to my country.
Welcome to my country. Here we go.
Thank you for having us.
Doing good, buddy. Oh, I'll get you down here. You okay? I'm doing okay.
Good morning.
I'm hanging in there.
I would like to explain only the one. You are the most important here. Not the Krakow, not the industry, not the festival. You, your mind, your experience, and your possibility to work together. Enjoy your stay here.
Forum audiowizualne na pewno było takim projektem, jest takim projektem, z którego jesteśmy najbardziej dumni na tym festiwalu, dlatego że wiemy, że festiwale muszą tworzyć przestrzeń do nie tylko edukacji kulturalnej, którą realizujemy konsekwentnie od samego początku tego festiwalu, prezentując konkretny repertuar i wysoki poziom artystyczny, ale do też edukacji profesjonalnej, wiedząc, że przyszłość wielu tych młodych kompozytorów zależy również od tych spotkań, które się odbywają na festiwalu, od tych kontaktów, które tutaj wypracują i od tej konkretnej wiedzy, którą nabędą, choćby dlatego, że nie tylko w Polsce, ale właściwie w całej Europie brakuje ośrodków kształcących profesjonalistów w dziedzinie muzyki funkcjonalnej.
I'm very glad to greet and to welcome to Krakow again Professor Daniel Karlin. You know, Professor Karlin was music curator and educational expert for last two audiovisual forums, two last master classes here in Krakow. Thank you, Dan, for coming, and thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, Robert and Agata came to me, and I don't know, I think somebody recommended that they talk to me, I don't know. They came to Los Angeles, they wrote to me and said, could we meet? So we met, and I suggested that we meet at this very nice restaurant on the beach in Southern California, so that they would be very impressed, right? Which they were, they liked it. So anyway, so we talked. They wanted to have a film music festival that wasn't just about screenings, but had an educational aspect. And since I had experience doing education classes and programs, they asked me if I would help them design this program and then come over and do it. And so I agreed to do that.
This is considered to be the very finest film music festival. I would like to think that that has a lot to do with the fact that we are able to gather talented people like you together and bring you here and hear from experts about everything from composition techniques to business ideas and recording and mixing, and as much as we can squeeze into 3 days of master classes. So I'm happy to have you here.
This is my second experience here because I got the second place on the first edition 2 years ago, and it's wonderful to meet a lot of people, a lot of professional composers and not composers from Hollywood, from Poland, and you can learn a lot from them.
Master classes are a chance for me to sort of let them know the things they may not hear any other way unless they were working, you know. What it's really like to work on a TV show, what kind of schedules we get, some of the challenges that they may not know about. So these master classes are great because I get to download some knowledge to them that I think is actually pretty useful that you can't, no one tells you, it's not in the book anywhere. So it's a good opportunity to help them out.
The difference between TV and film used to be that the quality of television was just crappier than the good movies. Now I think there's really become this thing where movies and television are both great in terms of the quality of the story, to the point where I'd even go to the ledge and say there's probably better storytelling on television than in the movies these days.
If you get to come here and be part of these workshops, the guys talking are the guys who are at the top of the game. So you get to find out right from the horse's mouth, here's how we do this, here's how we do this, here's how we do this. It's like all the secrets, right? You get to see behind the curtain. So there was lots of reasons, I think. Plus it was free.
My favorite part of master classes is actually question and answer. So after I say my thing and tell them what I'm going to tell them, is to have them, and I encourage them to ask me anything, any question they want, because they're probably, how does this work, or how does that work, or how do you get to this point, or what do you do, anything like that. I think it's a big plus. I always encourage question and answer because it's a chance for an individual person to ask something that would help them. So I feel like I got a chance to actually connect with them.
So I've noticed in TV especially there's a lot of cues or underscore, like every now and then you might get a montage or a place where you can really shine, but there's tons of underscore. And I'm curious about both of your processes for sketching. Like, what's your initial sketch process? Do you write a piano sketch? Do you specifically avoid melodies in situations like that where you might be stepping on dialogue, or what's your process if it's like 2 minutes of interrogation?
My method is, and I teach all my assistants or my helpers to look at from this point of view, which I think is important, is in my sequencer, if I were to dial up a sequence of anything I work on, you'd see bar 4 is in. I don't know why I picked bar 4. It's a habit of all these years. That's where my music starts.
Seeing Trevor and Atlee up there talk about how they score those TV shows, I mean, those guys, like I said, are the top of their game. So it's cool to be able to pick their brain and just be right there. How do you do this? How do you do that? And have them open to answering those questions. It was awesome. Yeah, it's a very, very unique experience. You can't just fly down to LA and ask them, and even if you did, they're too busy to answer you.
We also decided that we should have a competition, a young person's competition, so that this is not a competition for people who are already doing a lot of film scoring work, but people who have basically finished their studies, or at least their formal studies. Maybe they're studying privately now, but they're out of college and they're trying to prepare to go into the industry, or they're just finishing college, that sort of thing. So we have this competition, and we allow as many students as want. I refer to them students. Many are not students. They become students in our master program here, but some of them are already working in the industry, and they desire to get that move to the next level.
It's a hard thing, music and competition. It's a matter of taste, and but when I saw who was there and who was on the jury and who was being at the concerts, and I thought, I'm crazy if I'm not gonna do this.
We have judges from around the world, and from Spain and from Poland and from America. We have someone from the organization ASCAP and someone from the organization BMI. These are what are called performance royalty organizations, where they collect, these are the people that collect money for composers.
It's being asked to speak and being asked to, to judge their music, which I did. I think there were 25 composers, and they were all, they wanted a scene from one of my shows to have them score from the Borgias. And to see 25 completely different takes on it from these young composers, and some of them are incredibly talented. And they're all untalented, but the top 3 or 5 of them were just like really amazing. And there wasn't that sort of thing when I was young, at least not for me. So I think it's exciting for them to have a shot at winning an award and getting some recognition and get a little momentum going for their career. So I remember being a young composer and going to seminars or going to things I listened to people speak and get some insight into how they did what they did. So whenever I get asked to speak, I always say yes. I like to just give back if I can.
Jurorzy tego konkursu wymagają maksymalnie 20-25 partytur, których chcą posłuchać. Natomiast uczestników bywa często około 100. W związku z czym ten element, powiedzmy, technicznej jakości partytury stał się takim wyznacznikiem pierwszego etapu, czyli trzeba było przyjrzeć się tym partyturom, zobaczyć, czy są poprawnie napisane. Jeżeli tak, przechodzą do następnego etapu. I tak było w drugiej edycji konkursu. Było to w jakimś sensie kłopotliwe dla uczestników, ponieważ oni nie spodziewali się aż takiej selekcji, tak ostrej selekcji związanej z warunkami czy walorami technicznymi partytur. Wszyscy myśleli, że to jest tylko i wyłącznie element artystyczny. Dlatego do trzeciej edycji konkursu zmieniony został regulamin, w którym dosyć precyzyjnie jest podane, jak powinna być przygotowana partytura, ale również inne elementy, to znaczy tam są pliki, które są potem potrzebne do nagrania tej partytury, cała dokumentacja tak naprawdę, to jest dosyć precyzyjnie wyspecyfikowane i moją rolą jest przyjrzeć się wszystkim partyturom, czy spełniają wymagania techniczne, te właśnie postawione w nowym regulaminie. Jeżeli tak, partytury przechodzą dalej.
I suggest, because I only give a suggestion, I give a points to the jury, but I didn't make it a final decision, but I give the suggestion and I select 6 scores, which I mark a perfect scores. The other was very good scores. So that's the deal. And all of that 6 scores, they are winners. They are first 6 places, which is very important, that your work in artistic is very good, but even if I not listen to your music, it's good music just by looking. So you have to remember this.
We also have a full day in the recording studio, and this is another unique aspect to the Krakow Film Music Festival. So we bring maybe 25 students that apply, and we try to pick the people with the most potential, and we let them come to the program, and we spend the day in the studio and we record 2 pieces of music. I told you about the competition. Well, the first place winner gets to have his or her piece performed with the orchestra. So we then want to take the next 2 people, the second place and the third place, and we say to them, okay, if you want to adapt your score that you submitted, we will go to the recording studio and we will let you record with a small ensemble, maybe 5 or 6 players. This year we're using a brass quartet plus piano because it's a kind of a strong. This is about the Borgias, so it needs the meat and the strength, power of the brass, and so they're going to do that.
I felt compelled to find out, like, where, you know, of what quality is my music? Have I convinced myself it's good, but it's actually not very good? Or the other way around, do I think it's nowhere near what might be acceptable on a global stage like this, you know? And then find out, get some validation for it. You know, like it's nice to just meet other composers, meet other filmmakers, put your work into the mix, and just see.
To są ludzie, którzy wierzą w to, że im się uda. Tak bym to powiedział. Żyją tym, uczestniczą nie tylko w tym konkursie, uczestniczą w wielu konkursach, pracują cały czas na to, żeby być najlepszym i myślę, że kochają to robić. Zdobywca pierwszej nagrody tutaj w tej edycji, kiedy przyszło do nagrania takiej uproszczonej wersji jego muzyki, poza tą główną wersją zrobił również taką wersję uproszczoną, która właśnie była nagrana w Lusławicach, przyszedł i zapytał się, czy on mógłby to dyrygować, bo on kocha dyrygować. I czy to by się tak dało, jakby on mógł tam stanąć i nimi zadrygować.
Exactly the beats here. So if you have 2-2, you have 1-2. If you have 4, 1-2.
Okay,
that's it. So in 5/8, you have an 8 click. So I did it exactly as in your score. So that's your meeting and your music. So that was helpful.
Jestem taką osobą z pogranicza i techniki, i muzyki, w związku z czym bardzo często jestem potrzebny do jakichś dodatkowych wyjaśnień. Do tego, czy ustawić mikrofony w ten sposób, czy inaczej. Jak muzycy powinni sobie siąść, żeby im było wygodniej. Jak zagrać ewentualnie jakiś tam inny fragment. No, próbuję ogarniać całość i taką jestem trochę, nie wiem, nie chcę mówić prawą ręką, bo to za mocno jest powiedziane, ale takim człowiekiem, którego można poprosić, żebym na przykład był przy dyrygencie i zapewnił komunikację między dyrygentem a reżyserką. Tak było choćby właśnie w Lusławicach, gdzie byłem jedną z osób, która pojechała tam wcześniej, żeby wszystko było odpowiednio przygotowane, wiedząc już, jakie będą utwory, jakie są też wymagania realizatora, jakie są wymagania też tych osób, które prowadzą kurs, czyli choćby Daniela Karlina czy innych wykładowców.
Myślę, że można byłoby spróbować przegrać to teraz, nawet bez klika w wolniejszym tempie z Antoniem, który ewentualnie zwróci uwagę na jakieś różne rzeczy, bo to jest, rozumiem, najcięższy kaliber z tego wszystkiego, co macie tutaj dzisiaj. Więc może po prostu oni tam na razie o czymś opowiadają, więc spróbujemy z Antoniem po prostu sobie to spokojnie przegrać, żeby to nam wszystko pasowało.
I think it's very important for a composer, for a conductor to have someone else around him, you know, because during your conducting, you cannot hear everything, you know, because you are very concentrated in the score, in the musicians, on the big screen in front of you. And so if you have someone else close to you, it's very important and it's fundamental to me. This is a faster tempo, so we change from the poco rit to the 5/8. We have a very slow ritenuto, and then the allegro con brio. There is an immediate change. So we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So let's start from bar 11, please. Or 12, bar 12, thanks. 1, 2.
So we allow them to come and record that, and the other students get to watch and learn about the process of recording in the studio and the preparation that goes into it. And we spend the full day. We do the recordings. We speak to them first, introduce the whole notions. Then we do the recordings. We have a nice lunch. Then afterwards we look at the pieces now that have been recorded, and we discuss them both technically in terms of the preparation and the recording process itself, and then we also critique artistically how well we think that those pieces worked for the video image that we were showing. This was one of the few cues that we received that was melodic, that had thematic development. I'm an old-fashioned guy, so I appreciated that. But as you know, by paying attention to what's going on, especially in television these days, it's more about ambiance and sound design and less about melody and thematic development. It's a pleasure to work with younger people, and it's very exciting to see their enthusiasm and the new perspective that they bring to music and to scoring film and television video games. And so I find it very invigorating, you know?
Nie ma takich warsztatów w Polsce, w sensie nie odbywają się z takim, jakby tak szeroko zakrojone, obejmujące tyle przedmiotów, tyle zagadnień, warsztaty dotyczące tworzenia muzyki pod obraz. To jest niesamowita okazja do tego, żeby poznać ludzi, którzy na co dzień zajmują się właśnie tym, nazwijmy to, przemysłem jednak filmowym i tworzeniem muzyki do filmu, pod obrazy, do gier. To jest niesamowita szansa, żeby porozmawiać z tymi ludźmi, zadać im pytania, czy po prostu się jakoś zainspirować ich osobowością.
The advantage for our students here is that they get to meet composers from around the world and they hear their different perspectives. You know, we're talking about an art here, so it's not science, so there's only one way to look at something or only one way to solve something. This is our artistry, and so you might come up with a different solution for how to bring more emotion to the scene than I would do to it. One isn't correct and one incorrect. It's just a different way of doing it and a different way of reaching the audience.
It should be the composer who decides if the music's going up or down.
So what do you think? Should we avoid muting?
No, it's just to understand. That's the thing. What I want to learn and what I would like to bring over to you, it's only about understanding what will happen if I write this. To me it sounds quite logical that when you press the pedal and those things start working, the string cannot vibrate as much anymore and it loses volume. But the other way around, the opposite is true, so it can keep more vibration.
2 years ago, I met so many cool people, and the same is this year. And I want to talk with them. You know, I want to meet also other composers that are attending this masterclass and this festival. And so I think it's a great opportunity to me and to us to be there, to be here and to see this kind of events. You know, there are a lot of concerts here. For example, in Italy, we don't have this kind of event, and so it's a great opportunity for me to stay here.
I mean, of course, the principle is right that London, LA, New York are the places where the work is. But right now, with the technology and everything is happening, especially if you want to build your own original voice and track record and portfolio, better stay where you are, because confidence is one thing, but a huge ambition with the high cost of living, it's a different thing. And I think it's better to go to film festivals in your territory, make, especially how the industry is now, make international co-productions, films.
Chociaż już teraz nie jestem uczestnikiem tych warsztatów, to wiem, że tworzy się taka i powiększa się taka grupa młodych ludzi, którzy wokół tego festiwalu chcą przebywać, chcą się uczyć i tworzą taką, mówię, grupę młodych twórców zaprzyjaźnionych ze sobą, mimo że teoretycznie mamy dużą konkurencję, zaprzyjaźnionych ze sobą, wspierających się i pewnie jakoś trzymających za siebie kciuki. To jest bardzo fajne, żeby też wymieniać się ideami, pomysłami, doświadczeniami z innymi ludźmi.
So here's what I believe is the secret to success. I'm going to give this to you free of charge. So here's the thing: work hard, be nice, and get lucky. The harder I work, the luckier I get. And that is absolutely true. You have to make yourself available. You have to be in the right place at the right time, and you can't do that by sitting home and writing. Sitting home and writing is what you get to do after you get the job. So if you want from 10 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning to sit at home and write, do that. But the rest of the time, during the day and the evenings, this is the kind of stuff you should be doing, just what you're doing now. Networking. Networking is the most important thing that you will do to help your career. I'm telling you, networking, because you already have the proven talent. So networking is how you create your good luck. Then you got to be nice, because if you're not nice, people don't want to be around you no matter how talented you are. And that's the truth.
So I just encourage you to remember that. Get to know each other and stay in touch after this, because I've seen the success in previous workshops where this happens. So.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Congratulations. Thank you. Is it Oliver Jan? Is that right? Oh. Thank you. Good to have you here. Stefan Willing? Oh, good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Jeffrey Van Rossum? Yes. Oh, my guys are here. Thank you. Good, thank you. And the last person on my list is Akos Lusik? Oh, good. Did I murder your name? Did I? Yeah. I'm sorry, what is it?
Ważność tego projektu jest właściwie bezdyskusyjna. On jest połączony też z konkursem dla młodych kompozytorów. Marzenie niejednego wielkiego kompozytora, żeby usłyszeć swoją muzykę filmową wykonaną przez wielki skład orkiestry symfonicznej dla wielotysięcznej publiczności. To marzenie realizujemy przede wszystkim dla wielkich kompozytorów, a tutaj jest ono możliwe na wyciągnięcie ręki również dla debiutującego, początkującego twórcy, kiedy tak jak w tym roku fragment do Borgiów, wielkiej superprodukcji HBO mogło posłuchać prawie 15 000 ludzi i tuż po nim występowali najbardziej cenieni twórcy muzyki telewizyjnej, łącznie z kompozytorem muzyki oryginalnej do Borgiów, Trevorem Morrisem.
That's really, every piece is just perfect. It sounds perfectly.
Okay.
So I was surprised.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We expect that it will be awesome tonight.
Yeah, the preparing was really nice.
Yeah, we were here.
Yeah, we were here.
Tonight I have to go there. Absolutely. I have to speak.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very dark. Our last night was
and recently it was, not so recent, but quite recently it was Australia and East Asia.
He wrote me.
Oh, this is going to be so great. Look at the size of this orchestra. Oh my god.
Yeah, the size is amazing. It's huge. And you have a huge sound, great sound. You have 6 horns, 5 trombones.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you want more?
I know. That's like when they told us what instrumentation we could use, like way back, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, really? 6 horns, eh?
6
All right.
horns.
I will.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you?
Amazing. So, I think there are also 2 tubas.
Is that taiko? Yeah, they have taiko.
Yeah, 2 taikos.
2 taikos.
One on the floor and one up there.
Is the floor one bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit bigger.
Good, good.
But it has a huge sound.
Awesome.
On behalf of the jury of the 8th Krakow Film Music Festival, I am very proud and honored to announce that the first place award goes to the Italian film composer Antonio Di Iorio.
W imieniu
everyone. It is a great pleasure to stay here in such a great festival, and so thank you, Robert, for that. It's an amazing festival. I want to say thank you to all the fantastic members of this jury. They are amazing. And I want to say also thank you to Diego, Maestro Diego, who did a great job with such a great orchestra. Thank you very much, Diego. I want to dedicate this to my mother in Italy, my future wife here with me, and especially and especially to my father, who I know is looking at me up above there. Yeah, hello.
Antonio Di Iorio,
Thank you very much.
zwycięzca Young Talent Awards 2015. Posłuchajmy zwycięskiej suity, proszę Państwa.
it's always amazing, a great emotion when a real orchestra can play your music, and there are a lot of people in the room, and so it's amazing, you know. And also Diego Navarro did a great job with the orchestra, and so I'm really happy, absolutely. And next, I continue to compose music, you know. It's my job, it's my life. I love to write music, and I'm moving to LA, to Los Angeles to do that. And so maybe one day I can write something very important. I want to try it. I want to do it. It's my life.
Antonio Di Iorio, czyli ten nasz laureat ostatniej edycji konkursu, osiąga tak ogromne sukcesy w tej chwili w Hollywood. Pisze o nim nie tylko rodzima prasa włoska, ale też prasa amerykańska. Dostaje już potężne i poważne zlecenia. Poprzedni nasz laureat Matis Kibom jest jednym z bardziej cenionych młodych kompozytorów w Holandii.
Actually, talking about my last score, which is a big animation movie, Capture the Flag. It's a Paramount picture. For this project, I created my own team, and I decided to call two of my pupils. Mathis, the first winner of the FMF award, and Jan Sanetko, last year's winner. So they have been working for me in Capture the Flag, and that was another beautiful thing. I thought, no, okay, that could be very rewarding for all of us if you know, it's a tool in order to know, okay, we are doing the right thing. We are moving in the right direction, you know, because after the experience, after teaching them, if you trust them in order to, okay, join my team, let's work in the real world, in a real project, big one, under pressure, under blah, 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 that's a real, you know, test, you know. And they did a great job, you know. I am extremely happy and proud because of that.
The award changed my life. Well, the reason why it changed my life is I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of different people, a lot of great composers, agents, publicists, you know, all kind of different great people. For example, what happened the first time I was there in the concert, there was also a piece by Diego Navarro, who was conducting tomorrow. And I got to know Diego a little bit, and we kind of, yeah, we hit it off. We were, I wouldn't say at that point we were already friends, but we had the same interest. And so a couple of months ago, I was in Tenerife on holiday, you know, having dinner with Diego and his wife and my wife and stuff. And now suddenly, a few months later, I've worked with him on a big project for Paramount Picture.
Właśnie dzięki temu festiwalowi miałem szansę troszeczkę bardziej wypłynąć na większe, na szersze wody. Natomiast myślę, że w zależności od tego, jak się wykorzysta pobyt tutaj w Krakowie, to może się to okazać ogromną szansą na to, żeby móc się po prostu pokazać, bo nie zawsze to, co się robi, zostanie docenione, ale może się okazać, że inne osoby też to usłyszą i kto inny to doceni. Może nie od razu ta osoba, do której się próbuje dostać, czy pokazać swoje utwory.
It's very interesting.
As professionals, we benefit from this because we get to sit, and even if it's not in the classroom, it's at lunch or it's at dinner or it's over coffee or some pierogi and beer, that we get to talk about important aspects of our industry and how can we make things better, how can we deal with some of the challenges we have. And also, hey, I heard a new young composer, she's really interesting, you should check her out, or that sort of thing. So it's you know, it's just this opportunity for us all to gather together. So who benefits? The audiences benefit. We had thousands of people coming to this thing. The students in the master classes benefit. The professionals benefit. I mean, it's a win-win-win altogether, you know, it's fantastic. And the fact that your government supports this is very important.
Większość ludzi nie chodzi do filharmonii, nie zna tego świata żywej orkiestry. Zwykle muzykę orkiestrową słucha się właśnie przy okazji oglądania filmu. I dobrze, że jest coś takiego jak Festiwal Muzyki Filmowej, bo wtedy wiele osób może jakby bezpiecznie zetknąć się z żywą orkiestrą. Właśnie nie w tej sytuacji, która dla wielu wydaje się być bardzo taką sztywną, filharmoniczną, że oni się tam muszą odpowiednio zachowywać, nie wiedzą kiedy klaskać i tak dalej. To dla wielu osób jest kłopotliwe, a tutaj nie, tutaj mogą reagować spontanicznie i jest to muzyka orkiestrowa. I dobrze, bo może jest szansa, że jakaś grupa tych osób odważy się potem odwiedzić orkiestrę i posłuchać muzyki, która jest po prostu muzyką. Nie jest towarzyszącym elementem obrazu, bo zawsze tak jest w filmie, tylko jest samodzielną, piękną sztuką.
Ja się tylko cieszę z tego, że w Polsce, w mieście, w Krakowie, które ma ogromne tradycje i potencjał nie tylko w dziedzinie filmu, ale również muzyki, w mieście, w którym powstawały tradycje studia eksperymentalnego dźwięków Polskiego Radia, mieście kompozytorów muzyki filmowej i wielu cenionych kompozytorów muzyki klasycznej, by mieć Preissnera, Pendereckiego, Koniecznego, Walacińskiego itd., że w tym mieście powstaje program, którego nie powstydziłby się żaden wybitny uniwersytet, ceniony uniwersytet europejski. I cieszę się, że powstaje to jako projekt trochę łączony, projekt, w który nie jest w stanie nikt jeden zawłaszczyć, projekt, który jest dlatego tak mocny i tak dobry, że na jednej platformie edukacyjnej spotykają się bardzo często konkurujące ze sobą ośrodki, konkurujące ze sobą festiwale, konkurujące ze sobą studia filmowe, konkurujące ze sobą nawet kompozytorzy cenieni, którzy między sobą rywalizują o nowe tytuły i zlecenia, ale także nawet firmy reprezentujące prawa artystów i wydawców, tak jak BMI czy ASCAP, które tutaj w roli ekspertów są kompletnie neutralne i dzielą się swoją wiedzą. Dla mnie to jest ogromna satysfakcja, że w ciągu 3 lat realizowania tego programu skorzystało z niego blisko 100 młodych kompozytorów, że to są kompozytorzy reprezentujący już w tym momencie 40 krajów świata. No i cieszę się, że coraz więcej osób wierzy w ten projekt. Wiemy, że w przyszłym roku na festiwalu będziemy konstruować program już we współpracy z 2 wielkimi innymi festiwalami świata i wiemy, że to będzie projekt, który będzie się odbywał w Krakowie i w Katowicach, w Lusławicach, ale także w Obanie i w Gandawie.